Hey guys, what's up? Roshi is here. Today we're doing something interesting. This is an update of Volatility Worldpyre. We've played this deck in the past. I think I named it Dragon Worldpyre at the time, but we've taken some of the lessons we've learned from back then and just all of my experience of playing Worldpyre, and we've basically retold this deck to use some of the latest tools and the latest tricks. And I think I've changed enough that it's worth making a deck tech. Some of the things that we're doing differently, Beacon of the Reach is obviously a new card. This is a card that enables us to basically have an endless endgame. Sometimes what would happen with these Worldpyre decks is you wouldn't hit your 8 of the Horus, or you just didn't really have a way to close. And what Beacon can do is, even if you're just getting random garbage is going to be better than nothing most of the time. And since we're able to kind of control what our opponents are doing, it's nice that we'll have this endless source of card advantage to close out games. Other than that, we're leveraging a lot of dragons, and these double as Worldpyre targets, they're Volatility targets, and decent beaters. Black Sky Harbinger is going to just rip apart any sort of token strategy. It kills Kira now. It's really good against any sort of Shrine strategy or a Tota strategy. Or any X1s, and even against stuff where it doesn't really straight kill, being a 4/5 with flying and lifesteal is it's gonna give you a nice little buffer and a nice blocker, and hopefully shut down your opponent's chances of burning you out. Rhymescale Draconis, come down, permafrost every single unit. If you've cast an 8 of the Horu, that is my favorite time to follow up with a Rhymescale Draconis. So you've stunned all their units, the next turn you play Rhymescale, slap a Permafrost on each one. By the time the 2 minutes pass with all the animations going off of each individual Permafrost, at the end of the day, all of your opponent's units will be stunned and Permafrosted, and you'll be in a pretty solid position. Plenty of relics out there. Happy to have a 1-of Stone Smelt Dragon to just completely yeet away all of your opponent's relics. Voprix is great value. Not a lot of decks that sometimes, like, we'd hit this point at the game where we have 8 power and we're playing against some sort of aggressive deck, and we're like casting off these Souls Rests and like not a lot going on, and we need something just kind of big and obnoxious and hard to deal with that can bridge the gap. And Voprex, being a multicolored card, will live through Send an Agent, it lives through Annihilate. There's not a lot in this format that actually kills him. He'll live through an Ice Bolt, Turn to Seed got nerfed, so less people are playing that. And being an 8/8 means it blocks quite well. So he'll come down, and if we've got any other dragons in play, we're going to steal 2 or 3 units from the opponent. Desert Alchemist enables us to block, generate power, or later on in the game make treasures to flip through our deck. Defiance kind of doing the same thing here, killing attacking units. There is an alternative option. You can play the primal-based deal 3 damage to an attacking creature, but I prefer just the consistency of Defiance here. We've got plenty of dragons and plenty of late game, so we don't really need that transmute to the transform as much as some of my other strategies do, so we're opting for Defiance as it's just better most of the time. You can also use it with Rhymescale Draconis to get a cheeky stun on something that they might be trying not to attack with, and then Rhymescale can come down later on and stun it. So that's pretty sweet. Transpose is one of the better ways to grab our Worldpyre. It's not a friendly meta for any sort of relics. So having that Aegis means they'll have to have a way to pop your Aegis and then kill your Worldpyre. And what that means for us is we'll probably get at least 1 activation, which, thanks to Soul's Rest, can be all we really need. We can use the Soul's Rests to get to 12 power, flash off a huge 8 of the Horu, or cast a big dragon, and hopefully, even if they kill our Worldpyre at that point, they're going to be so far behind that we'll have time to start playing our power and naturally just casting all of our threats. We can just become a big, fat control deck at that point, and we'll have crazy cards like Volatility to gas up our hand, and Beacon for late game, and just big dragons and big spicy things. We are playing 4 Display of Vision. Once again, kind of filling the theme of Black Sky Harbinger. A lot of scary 1/1s out there, or X1s. You can wreck Skycrag with this, flip power in your deck for ramp, and killing attachments. Every aspect of this card is fairly useful. And worst case scenario, it just gets you a Silex if you have nothing else to do with it, which is just fine. Shenra speaks, kill all units, or decimate, silence, and kill. It's a staple of Worldpyre decks. Make sure you're playing 4. If you're trying to play a budget version of this deck, I'm sorry, but you're probably going to want 4 of this, especially at an expedition. Wrath of Kyphus can actually be flipped with Volatility, so what that means for us is we can use our Volatility to hit our Wrath of Kyphus, which can then give us power early on. I know in some other lists without Wrath of Kyphus, you'll fill your hand, but you won't be able to cast it. So thankfully, Wrath of Kyphus gives us a way, something we can hit with Volatility that'll help us get to the late game without just being like... And on top of that, it hits Soul's Rest, it hits Aid of the Horu, it hits Wrath, it hits Shenra Speaks, it hits Voprex, Stone Smelt Dragon, Rhymeskill Draconis, Black Sky Harbinger. That is so many freaking hits. If you whiff on a Volatility, screenshot it and send it to me. I want to see it. But you probably won't. I don't think I whiffed at all. Sometimes I'd hit for 1 or 2, and even that feels like a low roll in this deck. Other than that, pretty aggressive power base. We're playing 27 power, which might actually be a little light for a Worldpyre deck, except we're playing 4 Wrath of Kyphus, 4 Display of Vision, 4 Desert Alchemist. So we have plenty of ways to get there, and plus, since we're a Worldpyre deck, we technically only really need 4 power to play the game and get started with our Worldpyre. So 27 is just fine. We're playing 20 Silexes? Am I counting that right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 Silexes. So we have quite a bit of Silexes. Early on, these Silexes are not going to be entering play and giving us treasures, but in the late game, once we've got some power going and our feet under us, that's going to amount to 20 of our 27 power is going to be a live draw that's going to draw us something else, which is fantastic. For the market, we've got Malediction for board wiping. Roland Iron Tyrant comes quite in handy against Shrine decks or just gumming down the field. Silverblade Menace is great against unitless. We can transpose, blow off their Aegis, and then slap them with the Silverblade Menace for a big slam. And then Turn to Seed is a good catch-all removal spell that hopefully shuts down the entire family tree of whatever creature is giving you a problem. And believe it or not, we are playing Worldpyre. So that is this list. Subscribe for more. It's pretty fun. Thanks.